Hi, this is Ed at my studio at the Drum Exchange in Seattle, Washington. I want to give you a brief video on my secret on how to learn scales on a keyboard. And that could be a marimba like this, or a piano, or a keyboard of any kind, really. Of course, the marimba, everything's brown as opposed to black keys and white keys. But it's arranged in the same format, so it's really pretty easy to learn. The first thing I teach people when they want to learn something like this is I say, look, learning how to read music is probably not the first thing you want to do. If you think about it, when you were born, the first thing you did between reading, writing, listening, and speaking, those are the four ways to communicate, was not reading or writing, but it was listening and then speaking. We're good mimickers. So one thing you can start by doing is hitting a note and then try and find that pitch. Da. It doesn't matter if you're a good singer or anything like that. You just need to start matching your voice with your pitch like that. Da, da, da. You'll also discover the range of your voice too. So that's kind of the first step on there. And don't focus on trying to read music right off the bat. You didn't do that as a baby. You started to read after you listened and spoke, and then you confirmed on paper. So think about that a little bit first. The next step I teach is that there is a formula to this whole thing. And it's not a matter of learning C or C sharp first, it's understanding the relationships between two notes. For instance, if I play one note to the next adjacent note, it has kind of a blur to it. That's what we call a half step. But if I skip a note, I have a whole step. So I'm going to show you kind of how you can create various scales just by understanding halves and whole steps. Now, if we look at the keyboard as kind of a giant ladder that has steps on the ladder, if I climb up the ladder, every note I have, those are half steps like that. Here to here, here to here. And then when you get to here, guess what? That's a half step too. So these are all half steps. So explore those, find those out. Therefore, if I play a scale using every note I have, that's what we call a chromatic scale. It's a half step scale. And it just keeps going the whole keyboard up. On the other hand, if I were to skip every other note and started here and skip this one, skip this one, skip this one, skip this one, then I would get this scale. That's called a whole tone scale because it's whole steps, not half steps. I have one chromatic scale, one half step scale, this one. That's it, really, if you think about it. Wherever I start, it's the same scale. But as far as those whole scales, whole tone scales, there's this one, and then there's one that starts a half step up from here. So those are all skipping half steps. The secret of a major scale, a do, re, mi, sound and music kind of a scale, is understanding that it's a combination of halves and whole steps. If I can find my way to this note here, which is right below a grouping of two black notes followed by three, that's the pattern, 2, 3, 2, 3, or this one actually starts with 3, but it's always the same pattern. If I start on the note right below the grouping of 2, we're going to call that C eventually, but don't worry about it for now, that note. And I play just the white notes of the scale, the piano. Voila, I got my major scale. I can play all sorts of little melodies from that scale. Anyway, it is a combination of halves and whole steps. So here's how I teach it. This is the real secret of how we do it. The half steps, if you kind of look at this scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the same as 1. When I hear, I'm at the same note. If you notice that there's two half steps where there are no black notes, that's a half step, remember. I have whole notes here, whole steps here, and then a half step here. The half steps on a major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, are between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8. So here's how I teach it. I'm going to have you sing it like this. 1 skip, 2 skip, 3 and 4 is a half skip, 5 skip, 6 skip, 7 and 8's a half, and then come down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. It's really simple. I'll do that again. 1 skip, 2 skip, 3 and 4 is a half skip, 5 skip, skip. Let's try that again. I may have messed up. 1 skip, 2 skip, 3 and 4 is a half skip, 5 skip, 6 skip, 7 and 8's a half, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow. All I have to do, if I want to find all the scales on this keyboard, is start anywhere with the same formula. For instance, if I start here, 1 skip, 2 skip, 3 and 4 is a half skip, 5 skip, 6 skip, 7 and 8 is a half, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can find all your major scales this way, and that gets you started in a ton of music. I'll try a few more here. I'm going to start here. 1 skip, 2 skip, 3 and 4 is a half skip, 5 skip, 6 skip, 7 and 8 is a half, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you think about it, if I start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 starting places for these major scales, and then it starts over again right here. So you have 12 scales you need to find on the keyboard, and those are your major scales. From there you can find minor scales and modal scales, all sorts of other stuff there too. But that should get you started. So just to understand the singing of this, we'll do one more to kind of finish up here. We'll start here on this note here. 1 skip, 2 skip, 3 and 4 is a half skip, 5 skip, 6 skip, 7 and 8 is a half, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it, pretty much. And just find those first scales. Think about numbers. The next step you can play around with is maybe, say, for instance, in this scale. And I notice I'm not using 2 hands or anything like that. I'm just using 1 hand or 1 finger on the piano. You don't want to get involved in sticking patterns or anything like that. This is all about listening and speaking. Once you've found your major scales, you might be able to find, say, 1, 3, 5 of that scale. That's why I like number systems. Of the major scale, 1, 3, 5 is our major chord. I can find all sorts of other chords in this scale. These are all kind of 1, 3, 5s all hidden in there. So once you start this process of learning numbers of a scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you can create all sorts of harmony. That's it. Pretty easy, right? Well, thanks for watching today. Hopefully you gained a little quick idea about how to create major scales on the instruments. Like, again, it can be a marimba, keyboard, piano, harpsichord, just about anything that's laid out like this. And once you learn here, you might be able to transfer those to flute, violin, just about anything. It's all about listening, speaking, then eventually reading and writing. Don't confirm language until the last step. You want to definitely learn how to read music. It'll really help in life, but I just believe in learning from the ears first. So anyway, thanks for watching again, and make sure, if you really want to get into this, I always recommend getting private music instruction, and then secondly, get an instrument to practice on. It could be a small set of bells, or again, a marimba, vibraphone, piano. I don't mind my students starting with a little set of bells and then access to a piano, because I want them to learn bass and treble as well, not just treble clef, which a lot of these instruments tend to be in percussion. Secondly, thirdly, you want to get into an ensemble, whether that's band in school, jazz band, rock band, garage band, any kind of an ensemble, drum circle, doesn't matter. That's your motivation. Also, you might want to get some play-alongs and get a slower downer program. There's a few of them out there, I think, and they can be on a phone or on a desktop, and they'll be able to slow music down so you can actually play along without changing pitch, which is important because I can't change the tuning of this instrument. And it really makes a big difference. So anyway, we'll see you either online or in the store at the Drum Exchange in Seattle. Please drop by, say hello, and see you soon. Thanks a lot.